So I've actually had this projector for over a year now, and I keep on coming back to it. I've looked at many other projectors in that time, but this I still think is exceptional, and it's one that you should consider. Don't forget to hit the red button to subscribe and give this video a thumbs up and click the notification bell to get my next video first. So for many people, they're put off buying a projector because of all the setup. Here, there is none. It literally sits right in front of the wall. Now I have got this projecting onto a screen, but it's not necessary. You can get a 100-inch image from just 20 centimeters away. These type of projectors are becoming more and more popular because they're even getting very bright during the day. Here you can see it's a bright afternoon. I'll pan round in a second and you'll see that the blind is wide open. It's around 1 o'clock in the afternoon, yet it's still delivering a 100-inch screen at incredible brightness. And so this is definitely something you can watch anytime. But if I'm being completely honest with you, it does get better and better the darker it gets. Now, any flickering you see on the screen is due to camera frequency. You don't see any of that in reality. But as I lower this blind, you can see that the colours will just start to pop off the screen, and it just looks unbelievable. This is an ambient light rejecting screen that I'm using, and so therefore it does enhance the brightness to a degree. But believe me, you don't need it. And I would definitely say, don't get one to start off with, but if you feel the need to improve it, well then do so. As you can see here now, we're in a darkish room. We've still got some lights on, and the picture is just incredible. It's absolutely fantastic. And one of the reasons why I keep on coming back to this projector is that I don't know whether I've seen another projector of its type and of its price point that produces this good an image for the money. It really is fantastic. Oh, and this has Harman Kardon sound, so this thing sounds awesome as well. The other thing I really like about XGIMI is that the build quality on all of their equipment is fantastic. It really does feel premium, and you can use it in exactly the same way as you can use a normal TV. There's 3 HDMI ports, and you've also got HDMI ARC, so if you do want to hook this up to a separate sound system, then you can do so easily. So the projector does run Android TV, and most of the main apps are featured and work really well, like Prime Video, YouTube, and also Paramount and Disney. The one exception is Netflix. So I don't tend to use it for Netflix. In fact, I don't use most of the apps on here. I tend to just hook this up to my Apple TV or my cable box, satellite box, which has got Netflix already installed. As well as electronic focus, this also has electronic keystone correction, and that means that you can just drag the image so that you get a perfectly straight screen. Now, this is ideal if you are using a separate screen, but it's also important if you're projecting straight onto a wall. It just means that you're going to get a really good image. Now, this is simple to do just by dragging the corners into where you want them, and as you can see, it then is perfect. This is the remote control that you use. The only one downside to this is it doesn't have backlighting, but that's just a niggle which I get used to nowadays. Not many do. Now, the thing that impresses me so much with this projector is that the picture out of the box just looks absolutely fantastic. I've got this set into bright mode and it looks brilliant. Now, you can change into different modes, although with this projector, and I think why the price is maybe a little bit cheaper, is that there are less modes to choose between. So if you compare this to something like the BenQ I looked at, or the 4 movie, which are probably about £1,000 or £1,500 more, it doesn't have the same amount of picture modes. And so it does require a little bit more playing with, but believe me, out of the box, this produces an incredible image. This projector is one of the quietest projectors out there in terms of fan noise, staying at around 32 decibels, and so you do barely hear it even in quieter scenes. The XGIMI Aura also does a great job with just normal TV content. I've got this hooked up to my SDR box, which is a Sky satellite box, 1080p, and as you can see, the image is brilliant. There is no problem at all with the picture. So you can watch normal TV with this. Okay, it's a 100-inch screen, but believe me, anything bigger is better, and you can enjoy normal TV just as much as big movies or big sporting occasions. There is no juddering, and there's also no screen tearing at all. It really does feel smooth and responsive. And again, any flickering you're seeing is just due to the camera frequency recording this. It doesn't actually appear when you're watching it in reality. Now, I mentioned earlier that the sound is provided by Harman Kardon speakers, and it delivers 60 watts, and it says absolute room-filling sound, and that is really true. It's difficult to demonstrate on this type of video, but believe me, there's a deep bass which is really quite surprising. Gaming as well is incredible on this machine. Now, don't get me wrong, there is a slight more of a delay in input lag than what there would be on an OLED TV, but unless you're really a competitive professional gamer, then you're probably not going to notice. And for playing games like racing games or football like FIFA, any of those is absolutely brilliant because you're doing it on a 100-inch screen, and it really makes the whole enjoyment and the immersiveness just a different level. The one area which I would like to see improved would be an update in the firmware so that you can change to different cinema modes and different movie modes, and also maybe gaming mode, which reduces that input lag. All of the functions at the moment are fairly basic. Now, don't get me wrong, I've got no problem with that because the out-of-the-box image, as I've shown you and as I've suggested, is so good. There is a custom mode, so you can go in and tweak that, but that really does require some fiddling with to get the perfect picture. It would be great if you had different settings automatically built in. You do have the option with the XGIMI Aura to mount this to a ceiling and have it in front of the screen, and that then will lift it completely out of the way of all of your other devices, and so it can become pretty much invisible. And if you want to, you can have it from the rear as well, which is something which I just don't see that often. But it's great that you've got these options built in. As I mentioned earlier, it does have Android TV built in, and other than Netflix, everything else works quite well. But my recommendation would be to use a separate box, so like an Apple TV box, a Fire Stick, something along those lines, because then just everything will work without any issues at all. So I'll run through some more specs of this machine in just a second, but this video really is just designed to let you know and make you think about maybe buying a slightly older projector that still delivers an incredible result, because potentially you can save money and get it for a more reduced price than when it first came out, and you're getting an incredible picture. As I mentioned, I think that the competitors for this machine are likely to cost you around £1,000 or $1,000 more than what this will. Now, this uses the pixel shifting technology on a 0.47 DMD chip. It produces up to 2400 ANSI lumens, and it has a throw ratio of 0.233 to 1. I showed you the 8-point and 4-point keystone correction, and those speakers, 4 15-watt speakers, deliver incredibly good quality sound, one of the best that I've seen on this type of projector. There is some built-in storage if you do need to use that, but the connectivity on this projector is also fantastic. Having the HDMI eARC is really very impressive, and you've still got 2 other HDMI ports. Those of you that are fans of 3D will be pleased that this does support 3D as well. Now, this is quite a big machine. It measures 60 centimeters by 40 by 139, so it is quite large, and it weighs around 11 kilos, but you can get a 150-inch screen from just, well, 44 centimeters away. So my friends, if you've always fancied a home cinema but don't want to have to drill through ceilings and walls, then this could be the perfect option for you. It delivers incredible quality image, great sound, and it comes in at a really competitive price. Guys, this is the XGIMI Aura. I'll leave a link in the description so that you can check it out for yourself. Thank you so much for watching this video. Any questions, pop them in the comments and I'll do my best to answer them.